Hello everybody, happy Sunday. It's also Easter and it's April Fool's, so I hope too many of you all didn't get in trouble today pulling your Easter April Fool's pranks on people. Yeah, so we have a special guest tonight. It's not quite time for the special guest yet. We're gonna wait until a few people get here. We have just one person right now. Hey Cheryl. So it's Easter and it's April 1st. So who pulled some pretty good April Fool's tricks today? Yeah. Oh, Jordan's here. I bet she did. I bet she did a couple. So we went to see Nana today, and she wanted me to tell everybody that she ate ham. That was her April Fool's joke, was she wanted me to tell everybody that she ate ham. And, you know, we all know Nana doesn't eat ham, so yeah. So that was her big April Fool's. Okay, and I'm getting a little nervous because it's telling me who's watching, but it's not telling me any comments. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to see comments, because you know I'm going to be really, really irritated if I can't. Or I'll have to get backup to help me, to let me use their phone. But anyway, I'm guessing that for some bizarre reason, I'm not seeing the comments. Yeah, so hold on a second, let me look, because I don't think there's this many of you all there and that I can't see them. So, okay, so I just said hi to myself to be able to see if comments came up, and mine came up, so if somebody else could comment, that would be awesome. But today is Sunday and it's April the 1st. Again, happy Easter. YouTube people, if you're watching this later, I'll post down in the comments where the chat's gonna start. And yeah, still not seeing any of your comments, so yeah, thanks Facebook. It sounds like we're gonna start out to a great evening, because I'm definitely gonna wanna see your comments. So let me see if I can borrow my backup my guest's phone, so that we can get some backup, because I'm assuming you all are talking and I'm just not seeing anything. And this is not really gonna, yeah, y'all know how much this fries me when it does this, but okay. So anyway, yeah, so the backup let me borrow their phone. Thank you very much. And let's see. Okay, yeah, so people are saying hi. So let me scroll back down here real quick and say hi to everybody that I've missed. So hey Kim, I'm sure there's people above Kim that I missed. Hey Joyce, this is really irritating that it's not showing me the notification, so thank you, special guest, for letting me borrow your phone. Hey Janice, hey Jennifer, hey Tammy, hey Kathy, hi Donna, hi Chris, hey Kim, hey Sybil, hey Renee. So, gosh, yeah, more of you. Hey Claudie, hey Sandra, hey Janet, and hey Lisa. Okay, so, yeah, I hope everybody had a great Easter. We have a special guest with us, and we're gonna go ahead and sneak the special guest in, although special guest is snoozing. So, and Mom can come in too if she wants to. It's okay. Special guest is here. So here is baby Alyssa. And so I can't see your all's, you know, comments right now. I know, and Kathleen said go out and come back in. And I don't know if you're talking to me, Kathleen, but I can't go out and come back in, because if I do that, I will lose everybody. So everybody that's saying hello, hello. I'm seeing all of your comments now here on, you know, on Casey's phone. So Alyssa's mommy let me borrow her phone. But anyway, so yeah. Okay, yeah, and everybody's saying, oh, baby girl, yeah, she's here. Yeah, and she is cute. Thank you very much. So this is Alyssa's first Easter. So we thought it would be fun for her to join us for part of the live chat. And can you see how pink her cheeks are? Mommy and Daddy and her other grandparents took her, apparently they were outside for Easter today, and look, and she got a little pink, so cute. But anyway, so this is her very first time on TV. I know this isn't TV, but it's her very first time on Facebook Live, and I see lots of you all are commenting, and I appreciate it very much. So since she's sleeping, I'm gonna hand her back to Mom. If she wakes up, we'll grab her again so that y'all can see how cute she is when she smiles, because she has just started smiling, and it's absolutely adorable. Okay, so I'm gonna put Casey's phone, which does not turn. Okay, I'm gonna put it right here so I can see what you all are saying. Okay, again, so happy Easter, everybody, and thank you for letting me put her on there. So I will say hello to everyone later, since it's not letting me see your comments on my phone, and I am watching on Casey's phone. But anyway, so today is April 1st, and yeah, so who pulled an April Fool's joke? Who pulled an April Fool's joke? Anybody? Anybody? Did you get away with any doozies? Did anybody see the Krispy Kreme box that I posted earlier in the week, or I guess it's just a day or two ago? Did anybody see the Krispy Kreme box that when you opened it up, that it had the, oh, Taylor wanted to see you. She might come back over. She's saying, come on, Casey. Okay, Taylor, I think she's coming back. So, yeah, and Carol says it's Frozen. Yeah, I can't help it. We just watched Frozen the other day, by the way, Carol. Okay, so Taylor, there's Casey.
Hi.
So everybody say hello to Alyssa's mommy.
Sorry,
and I'll see you all later.
But
yeah, so she has the crud now. She's got the creeping crud now.
I look like I have
that's
weird
welcome
eyes.
to, I know from the lot. Yeah, so that's welcome to East Tennessee. Yeah, so, okay. Anyway, so YouTube people, I promise, because we're doing a lot of chatting tonight, doing a lot of hey, hello, since we had Alyssa on here, and everybody's still saying hello. Hi, everybody. But YouTube people, I promise, I will post here in the comments. I'll post down here in the comments what time the actual chat starts, so you don't have to sit and listen to all the hellos if you don't want to. Okay. YouTube people, also, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. We're up over 2,000 subscribers now, which is crazy. Yeah, and people are saying hi. Casey would say hi. She says hi, but she would say hi, but I have her phone sitting right here so that I can actually see your comment. Yeah, and it's really weird because it's delayed. So again, thanks a lot, Facebook, for not letting me be able to see my comments, but thank goodness Casey was here so I could borrow her phone. Okay, so YouTube people, don't forget to subscribe, and if you didn't catch this live with us tonight, like if you're not here live with us right now on Sunday, April the 1st at 8:06 p.m., then you can always watch this later here on Facebook, or you can watch it on YouTube. And if it's on YouTube, then if you go on YouTube, you're just going to search If You Have an Egg. And hello, everybody who just came in. It's very good to see you, and thank you all. Really, thank you all for joining us on Easter. So that's pretty special. I mean, there's quite a few of you all for it to be Easter. I assumed that most everybody would just watch this later, but you know, I wanted to do it anyway. Okay, so you know what's coming next. Who attended a meeting last week? So who either attended a physical meeting last Sunday, or you attended our meeting here last Sunday? And I'll go ahead and say hi to a couple of people. Sandra, hi Rose, hi Kathy, and hi Holly. So while you all are commenting, hello Julie. So who attended a physical meeting last week? Hey Tina. Or you attended our meeting here last week. So if you attended a meeting, let's get some thumbs ups for attending. If you attended a physical meeting or you attended our meeting last week, let's get some thumbs ups. Ooh, there's quite a few thumbs up. So YouTube people, you won't be able to see this, but trust me, there are quite a few thumbs ups. Hey Tedders. Hey, and hey Holly. Oh yeah, Holly attended last Tuesday. Hey Jackie. Rose did. Rose attended a meeting. Okay, everybody that attended either a physical meeting last week or you were here with us on Facebook, you get a Bravo sticker. So everybody gets a Bravo sticker. Yeah, and I actually found a Bravo on the, what's it called, Casey, Bitmoji? Yeah, on the Bitmoji that Casey made for me. I found, hey Karen, I found, yeah, a Bravo. So I've been handing out a few select Bravo stickers, and I found a gold star. Oh, Lisa did both. So Lisa gets a big one. Oh, Kim did both. You went to a meeting and you attended here? Good girls, yeah. So y'all get 2 Bravo stickers, very good. Oh, and hold on, Joyce got her 50-pound charm. Yeah, Joyce gets 2 thumbs ups and a Bravo sticker because she got her 50-pound charm. So that's awesome. That is so awesome. Okay, so great, everybody who attended a meeting. Who was here? Whoever was here was whoever was with us last week. Do y'all remember this? This was our weekly last week, and we talked about planning our meals. So normally I make you all try to remember, but I've got a couple of things to show you here, so I'm going to skip right to it. So last week we talked about planning our meals. And so does anybody remember what your homework was? So while y'all are thinking about your homework, this is a weekly. In case you didn't pick up your weekly last week, if you attend a physical meeting, you can grab one of these from your leader. The receptionist usually has them. Or you can, like if you missed a week, you can always grab one. And if you are online only, or if you're Weight Watchers online and you didn't get a weekly, you can always go back and look online, but you have to go to weightwatchers.com and you have to be a member so that you can log in. And then if you go all the way to the bottom, you can see it. If you look this up on your phone, if you look it up on the mobile Weight Watchers app, you can see you can see a little bit, you know, like you can see a preview of it, and you can see part of it, but you can't see the whole thing unless you're actually online. So, yeah, so this one was about planning your meals, and Holly says she's a pre-tracker, so she always plans her meals. So Holly means that she is tracking her meals in advance, so she's always pre-planning them, because she's already got them tracked in advance. Did anybody try the split tracking that I talked about last week? So did anybody switch to, like, let's say, for example, like if dinner is your biggest meal and you're having trouble, like if you've eaten breakfast a snack, lunch a snack, remember I keep throwing in some snacks, but if you've eaten, you know, 2 or 3 meals during the day, and then you're running out of points at the end of your day, did anybody try the split tracking that I talked about last week, where you schedule dinner as your main meal? So you're scheduling dinner first, and then you track the next 2 meals. So you would do, so dinner would be your first meal, and then you would track breakfast and lunch as your second and third meal. Did anybody do that last week? Did anybody split track, or does anybody already split track? Do we have anybody else that does that? Because like dinner is my main meal, okay? And Sybil's turning in her homework from 2 weeks ago. That's okay, Sybil. You still turned it in. You still turned it in. Yeah, yeah. And Sybil says she has pretty much the same breakfast and lunch during the work week. So that, you know, so that helps. And Kim tracks a day ahead. Okay, so what was your homework? Do you remember what your homework was? Anybody? Anybody? You were supposed to pre-plan. You were supposed to plan 1 meal. So just one meal if you wanted to plan a whole day, or you know, if you're one of those who's that far ahead of the game, you could have planned, you know, and prepped an entire week. So I did, oh, let's see, Julie says my meals are planned, cooked breakfast for the week and lunch, and she journaled all of her meals already. Oh my gosh, she really is Wonder Woman. She really is Wonder Woman. And Betty says she did it, but she got confused and went back to the regular way. Okay, I understand that the split tracking can be confusing. So yeah, and I must have missed something that Nancy did, because hold on, let's see. Since I have Casey's phone too, I can actually go backwards. So what did Nancy do that she's getting well, I can't find it. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so, you know, last week we prepped, you know, I prepped like a big meal. You know, we did the sheet pan meal last week, and it lasted us for 6 meals. So Casey and I both ate it at lunch 2 days. So that's 2 meals times 2 people. That's 4 meals. And then John and I had it after, you know, after the chat. So that was 6. So we had, you know, made 6 meals. And y'all know for me, that's a pretty big deal. The only other planning that I did this week, oh, Nancy got a 100-pound charm. Woohoo. Yeah. So I did miss that one. I wish somehow on Facebook it would do like, I don't know, sparkles or something during the live chat, so that I would, you know, absolutely notice things about that. Yeah, that is awesome. That is so good. Yeah, you get 3 Bravo stickers. Awesome, girl. Way to go. That is so cool. 100 pounds. That's like, so you lost Nana basically, because she weighs like 102 right now. So you would have been carrying Nana around. Yeah, that is awesome. Awesome work. Good job. So y'all know it's hard for me to, not hard for me to plan, but I'm just not a big planner. Like I don't plan, you know, for a whole week. I'm lucky if I plan the next day. So I still have been, I've been planning, prepping, taking, and eating my lunches. I think I'm on, if I'm not mistaken, this is week 4. This will be week 4 for me doing that. I've never had a 4-week streak of doing that. It's been like, I don't know, I'm lucky if I've made it a whole week. So, but it's been a 1-week streak. I had a little glitch in the week, or almost had a little glitch. I had a little opportunity to have a setback during the week. And Stacy needs help with some breakfast choices. Stacy, if you're in the closed group, I post something, and sorry, Casey has the crud, the East Tennessee crud, but I post something almost every single day. Breakfast is the one meal that I usually get posted in our Facebook group. So if you're not already in there, we'll post the link later on how to join. Yeah, but so I post tons of breakfast ideas. So y'all know, you know, I'm not great at the planning ahead part, but finally at some point during the week, I was like, okay, that's it. That is it. I woke up thinking about Wegos. I couldn't stop thinking about Wegos. I wanted a Wego. And so I figured out a way to stop, get a loaf of bread, and come. And so we had Wegos 3 mornings this week. So for me, that was a big deal, you know, on planning. But anyway, okay, so that was last week. Get your weekly. If you didn't get it, be sure and take some notes. It also had a delicious recipe in the back, the warm kale salad with onions and mushrooms. So don't forget that one. Hold on to your weeklies. Gosh, I've probably got, I don't know, close to 100 of them, I guess, and I do keep notes in them, so sometimes my notes. And Sybil says, I always pre-prep my hard-boiled eggs, fruit salad, and ranch Greek yogurt. That sounds like a great idea. Okay, and I can see on Casey's phone that it says broadcast interrupted. Okay, it's still going strong on my phone, so I don't know why it says broadcast interrupted, but I'm just gonna keep talking. Yeah, so I don't know what it's fussing about because I am, oh, and it looks like it's back. I don't know, this is so weird. Yeah, like I can see, okay, so somehow miraculously we're back. I just stood still, have no idea if y'all could hear me fussing the whole time that it was frozen. But yeah, I don't know. Facebook drives me crazy. Okay, yeah, and Mary says it was an April Fool's joke. Yeah, so it was, you know, April Fool's. Just kidding, I wasn't really gone. So April Fool's, Facebook, thanks. Okay, so don't know if y'all could hear me fussing while it was frozen, but yeah. Anyway, I was fussing. So, okay. So thanks a lot, Facebook. Now you've completely distracted me and I'm trying to think where I was. So let me think just a second. I was talking about writing in the weeklies and oh no, somebody was talking about prepping hard-boiled eggs. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so my Casey and I have continued to crush our mini goals at Planet Fitness. So we were both, you know, kind of squalling by the time we got done this last time because we're really kind of pushing ourselves at Planet Fitness, and John and I have started doing PiYo a couple of times a week. It's hard. So for those of you all that haven't heard me squawking about PiYo, it's hard. It is not for the weak at heart. So okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about real quick, again, the Wednesday wrap-up for people who don't have an hour to spend listening to me, you know, chatter on. The Wednesday wrap-up is less than 5 minutes, and you can watch it on YouTube, or I've been posting it here on Facebook again too, and it's just on YouTube, and it's just search If You Have an Egg, you know, all together. Okay, so I want to go over a couple of food things that that we did. Yeah, and Mindy says, good for you, and yay for partners. Yeah, so I have great partners. So Casey is my Planet Fitness partner, and I know I just distracted myself again, but Casey's my Planet Fitness partner, and she didn't feel great on Saturday, but I think having another accountability buddy does really help because she knew at the end that if she could just, and she's over here, you know, watching me, but she knew at the end if she could just make it to the end, if she could just get through, you know, at the end, that she was going to get to do the hydro massage. And sometimes that's all the encouragement you need is to know at the end that you get to do the hydro massage. But this week we tried something new. Casey's the one who tried it. And yay, Sybil's going back to Planet Fitness tomorrow. Yay. Casey's the one who tried it, and she got me to do it. I'm not going to lie. It terrified me. It absolutely terrified me. And it's called, what do you call that? The medicine ball. Oh my gosh. And you take a, hold on a second. Sybil says, my son says you look like you have lost weight and you are in your 30s. Sybil's son is my new favorite. Yeah, he's my new favorite. I could have children in their 30s. Yeah. Hey, Connie. Do what, Casey? Yeah, oh yeah, and Casey says that means I'm an awfully young grandma. Oh, and Philippe says, hola Philippe. But yeah, so the medicine ball thing, I don't know how heavy this ball was, but you throw it at this little mini trampoline, and then it bounces back to you, and you try not to scream, because I felt like screaming every time it bounced back to me. And then you get it, and then you squat, and then you stand up, and you throw it, and you bounce, and get it, you know, whatever. So Casey, on like try number 2, was a pro. I mean, she was like, chung, 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 and she was doing that while I was doing another machine, but I could see her. So she's just over there, you know, throwing the medicine ball, catching it, squatting, you know, whatever. Okay, it took me probably, I don't know, at least 6 or 7 times before I wasn't going, you know, before I wasn't flinching, you know, when the ball was coming back to me. But anyway, you got to try something new. So now that we've done it, I think we'll do it again. Yeah, and then the PiYo is like Pilates and yoga combined, and that's what John got me for Valentine's Day, believe it or not. But the present wasn't the Pio DVD. The present was that he was going to do it with me. So, and it was something different because we've been walking in the mornings now for so long that I'm not sure how effective our morning walks are, because we've become, kind of meanderers and let the dog, decide how far and how fast we're going to walk. And Loretta likes the stability ball. Many things to do on the stability ball. Heck, we haven't tried that. And Sybil was surprised how heavy the medicine ball was. Yeah. So, okay, and Lisa says, she wanted to clarify she didn't get a 100-pound charm. She was answering Kelly. Oh yeah, so Lisa and Nancy both had, celebrations today. Okay, so I sidetracked myself, but I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to some Easter food, and what I'm gonna show you, I know it's a little bit late for this because unless you are on the West Coast, Easter is winding down. But I wanted to show you these because all of these you can make for other events. This doesn't have to be an Easter only event. These would be super cute, for like Memorial Day, July 4th, a kid's birthday party, something like that. So I found out something this week that I didn't know. Y'all know I don't hard-boiled eggs. You all know I don't hard-boil eggs. Yeah. Oh, and I'm sorry, Julie said that tomorrow is starting, I'm going to sidetrack again. Julie says tomorrow is starting the workout challenge. And Julie, tell everybody what it's called. Julie started this on the If You Have an Egg group. And it starts tomorrow, even though I tried to make it start on Friday, I think. I don't think Julie realizes how early I get up and how far ahead of her, though, we are on time. So I'll be waking her up at like, I don't know, 2:15 in the morning, I think, if I tag her. But anyway, these are kind of post-Easter, or they were like Easter things, and now it's post-Easter, but they can be done for, any event. So y'all know I don't hard-boil eggs. I do not hard-boil my own eggs because everything I've tried except for the Instant Pot has been a disaster, and I don't own an Instant Pot. The Instant Pot that I was successful with lives at Popcorn Karen's house. So I thought, well, I don't get to color eggs because I don't hard boil eggs. Well, I found out that with some food coloring and a little water, you can hard boil eggs that are already cooked and peeled. So what I did was I took, I like to buy the hard boiled eggs, and I used them all, or I would show you, but I buy them either in a big bag at Trader Joe's, and I think the one from Trader Joe's has, I don't know, maybe 10. It's not a dozen. It's a weird number. It's either like 10 or 11. Already pre-hard boiled, pre-shelled, so it's just the egg in a bag. And and Loretta loves her air fryer chicken. Yes, her That Means chicken. But this time we went to Costco, and so they have this giant pack of 2 packs. So it's a plastic pack. So every time you open it, it's fresh. So it's not like you're opening it and then you have to hurry and use them, because each one of them, there's 2 eggs in each pack, and so they're fresh. It's fresh each time. So I took those and I put a couple of drops of food coloring in a little egg cup that I have, in little egg cups that I have, and put these in there. But how fun would this be? It was fun for Easter. See, and then I just flipped them over. So each egg cup had a different color in it, had a different color of food coloring. And you don't have to use food coloring if you're, I know for people that are worried, have some allergies to dyes, dyes in the food coloring and things, you can use some things like beets or carrots, or there's lots of vegetables that you can use that you can, use as a food coloring. But anyway, but look how fun that was. Yeah. And so the recipe for these eggs without the food coloring, but this is my spicy palmetto deviled eggs. And that recipe is already on the blog. That's not one y'all are waiting on me to do, but it's already on there. And that is www.ifyouhaveanegg.com. And look how cute they turned out. And because it was water, what? I said it makes them extra yum. Oh, Casey said it makes them extra yum. Yeah, so they got to eat them. But since they're wet, and it kind of dripped, down on there, when they were sitting in the egg cups, and then when I flipped them over, I don't know, I just thought it did make them extra cute, and kids, kids I think love deviled eggs. You don't have to make fancy, thank you Sybil for putting the website up, you don't have to make fancy, deviled eggs. They don't have to have, these are, mine and John's favorite. They have, it has palmetto cheese and jalapenos in it, so we love those. But yeah, but don't you think kids would think those were fun? Yeah, and they were fun for Easter. So that was one of the things that we made. And again, that's already on the blog. The next thing is something that Kathy from her group taught me how to make. And I'm like super excited. My brain has been going all day long, like thinking of things that I can do with this. But Kathy in our group taught me how to make this, and I thought, I don't know, after she showed me how to make it, or you know, she kind of walked me through it, I was like, okay, I feel like an idiot, because I mean, it's like so simple. It's so simple. And I did make a little video. The video is actually a time-lapse video of me doing all the steps so that you can see them, but I'll put it all together into one video. And I think once you see it, you're going to get it. I mean, you're going to get it so fast once you see it. It's going to be a little odd when I show it to you, but really the concept is so simple. It's so simple. And so thank you, Kathy. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed these. Like, I was eating these by themselves, and I had a couple with some ham for Easter. This with ham, I know Easter's almost done, but the next time you have an opportunity to have, you know, to have ham of some kind, oh my gosh, this was so good with the ham. Okay, so look how cute these are. Look how cute these little rings are. Can you see them? I'm going to pick up one of the orange ones because these have been sitting out for a few minutes getting ready for the chat, and so the red one's looking a little funky now because it's starting to, they're coming to room temperature. But so this is pineapple rings, and she had told me, hey, bye Julie, she's got to go. Dinner's she's got to go for dinner, and she's going to start the challenge in the morning. Yeah, so sounds good. We'll be here. Okay, so this was so simple. What she had me do, and Kathy's there. There she is. Thank you, Kathy. She saw it on Pinterest. Okay, so wasn't my original idea. It's not Kathy's original idea. She saw it on Pinterest. But how easy is this? And Kathy, you were exactly right. She said if you can get a can of whole pineapple without it being sliced, that it's a prettier presentation. I know now what she means, because the kind, I got the already sliced kind. I don't know why I didn't believe her. But anyway, I got the already sliced kind, and when they're coming apart, they get just a little jaggedy, I guess, just a little chunky, but it is literally, I bought 2 cans of sliced pineapple in 100% pineapple juice, and then I drained the pineapple juice, rinsed it, drained it, so that all the extra juice is gone, so it's back to 0 point pineapple. And then you take a packet of, and I have those sitting right here, you take a packet of any brand of sugar-free gelatin. So get the small packet of any brand of sugar-free gelatin. And so you can see, you know, Jell-O was one. I got, I was at Kroger, and Kroger had orange, so I got these. And you use half the water. I will post this as a recipe later, but you use, just in case you're listening to me instead of reading this, you use half the water. So the amount of water that it says on the back of the package to use, you make it just like normal, except half the water. And then you leave the pineapple in the can, pour the Jell-O mixture over the top of it. I covered it up with the lids that I used. Oh, and I put them all up. But the lids that I used to cover up my cans, those are actually the same lids that I put on the top of Dusty's dog food. Washed, of course. I washed them. But those same lids, you put it over the top, you know, put something over the top of the can and let it sit in the refrigerator. I let mine sit overnight because I didn't need them until today. And and Sandra says on her egg, she takes the yolk out and she uses hummus instead. I could do that. Yeah, I have hummus, except I went through all my eggs today making that. But anyway, so then you let it sit, and when it comes out, it's Jell-O, and it's Jell-O on sliced pineapple, and it makes it 0 spark points, and it's absolutely delicious. Super easy, super easy. Oh, one trick that Kathy tried to tell me about, see, if I would just follow her directions instead of trying to wing it and do this on my own, life would be a lot easier. So she had told me when it was done, to run a knife, and I did this in the video, to run a knife around the inside. And at first I didn't know why I was doing this, but it breaks the Jell-O away from the inside of the can. And so you do that, and then in the video you'll see me going chook, 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 shaking the can like this, just shaking it and shaking it and shaking it and shaking it and digging and shaking and shaking and digging it and shaking, trying to get it to come out. And finally John said, why don't you just run the bottom of the can through the can opener and stick and push it out that way. And I went, I know, Kathy tried to tell me that, So I did it. I put the lid back on it from the dog, the dog food lid back on it, the clean dog food lid, put it back on it, turned it upside down, ran it through the can opener, turned it over, came right out. But anyway, I thought those were super cute. I thought that turned out super, super cute. And they were delicious. So, oh, Alyssa's awake. So we are going to sidetrack for just a second so that you all can see what she looks like with her eyeballs open. So, there's Alyssa with her eyeballs open, and she does like to look at herself on the phone. She likes to look at herself in a camera. So, and she's showing you all her feet. Hey, she's smiling for everybody. So Alyssa is saying hi. Yeah, we'll come back to food in just a second. So all of you YouTube people can be irritated, but did you notice I had to push my hair back because she likes to, she's smiling at you all. She's saying, hi, egglets. Hello, egglets. I love it when you all make stuff. How are you? Oh, and she sounds like she's gonna spit up. So we're probably gonna give her back to mommy. Say bye to everybody. But I have to push my hair back because she likes to get a hold of my hair with her feet. Yeah, she likes to grab it with her feet. So say bye. Bye, everybody. Oh, she waved at you. Did you see her? Okie dokie. Okay. Oh, that was seriously a wave. I know that seriously looked like she was waving at you all. Yeah, she's only 3 months old, so she's not really waving, but oh, she's like, signing off. She's waving. I'm sorry, she's still talking to you all. I was gonna hand her back, but she's still talking. Either that or she's like Dusty and she's looking at the food that's up here on the island. Yeah. Okay. Okay, well yeah, and when I don't think it's gonna be too long before this child's gonna be eating. So yeah, okay. Okay, and in case you don't know me, that's Alyssa, and the bigger voice in the background is my daughter Casey, so Alyssa is our first grandbaby. Yeah, okay. So the last thing that we made, and that was so funny because it was like she was waving at you all. Yeah, so the last thing that we made for Easter, and the jury's out on this, I loved it. I thought it was really good. Casey said, she said there's a lot of flavors going on in there, so I think maybe I needed to make it fewer flavors for Casey. I did like it. I licked all the inside of all the containers while I was making it. John hasn't tried it yet. I have a feeling he's not gonna like it, but he's not a big yogurt fan. Okay, so I will take one of these to work tomorrow and make a couple of the civilians try it, but I personally loved it. And thank you everybody that's saying that they're all going, oh, she's so cute, she's precious, you know. Okay, so I made parfaits for Easter, and I hope y'all can actually see that. There we go. Sometimes the lighting gets a little, gets a little harsh, but oh, and Sybil said she found the pineapple rings on Pinterest. Yeah, so just go to Pinterest and search for those, probably for Jell-O pineapple rings too. And then I'll post a recipe for it later. But I made a parfait, and the parfait is just, and I'll post the recipe later. But I wanted something, Casey had made some delicious brownies that she took over to her in-laws for Easter. And so she brought one of them for John to try. I took a little sliver, off the edge of it because I could eat my weight in brownies. Yeah, and Casey knows the secret ingredient. She knows so she uses my sister's secret ingredient, and I can't say what it is just in case Diane from CTF, and she knows what that is, just in case she's here, because we never would tell her the secret, and yeah, and she always wanted them. So I made a backup dessert for after Easter, so that would be on plan. This is 2 points. So this basically is, I'll just go over it real quick because since we had extra baby time, we've gone over the mark to start on this week's topic. But this is it's a cup of plain non-fat Greek yogurt. So the 0% fat Greek yogurt plain, which is 0 smart points for a cup. So there is, oh, Sandra has 3 grandbabies. But anyway, so it's a cup of that, and I put it into 4 different containers. And again, I made a little video, so it would be easy to explain. I put it in 4 different containers, and in each one of those containers I had, so I had a cup, a cup, a cup, and a cup. So I started with 4 cups of yogurt, of plain, non-fat Greek yogurt, cup, a cup, a cup, and a cup. And then I put into each one of those, I put a tablespoon of sugar-free cheesecake Jell-O. So this is the Jell-O. It's a sugar-free, fat-free this like the pie and pudding filling, you know, whatever mix. So I put a tablespoon of that into each one of them. And then I put, that's a tablespoon, and then I put a teaspoon of each flavor of Jell-O. So we're back to the Jell-O again. So back to this again. So I had lemon, let me think. I had lemon, orange, lime, and raspberry, I think. So I did have 4 different flavors in here. And in each one of those, I also put in 2 tablespoons of fat-free Cool Whip. Mixed that up. And again, there's a video that'll explain it all. Mixed all that up, then equally divided it into my 4 cups. And you don't have to put it in something that you can see through, but I did just so that it would be fun. And then I took the Oreo Thins and crushed them up. 1 Oreo Thin on the top of each one, and 5 of the Jelly Belly. I used the ice cream shop. You can use any of them. These, I bought this little tiny bag because it's a little tiny bag. I'm not at a huge risk of, I'm not at a huge risk of just sitting and eating a thing of jelly beans, but even if I did, this is a very small bag. This is a very small bag. 35 of these, 35 of the Jelly Belly jelly beans. I don't think it really mattered which flavor they were, but 35 of them is 8 Smart Points. Okay, well, I don't need 8 Smart Points worth of jelly beans, so I put 5 on top just because it was Easter. You don't have to do this, but I did the one cookie, the crushed up Oreo Thin is 1 Smart Point. The 5 jelly beans are 1 Smart Point. So it's two Smart Points for that whole thing, because the rest of it is no points. Anyway, delicious, absolutely delicious. Okay, so let's go on to this week. Okay, this week's topic, not gonna lie, kind of glad that we spent some extra time talking to Alyssa and looking at food, because this week's topic is kind of hard. This is not a topic. You know how I've said the last couple of weeks, oh, I think the Weight Watchers have been reading my email or going through my stuff or whatever because they're talking to me. This is not one that I really have much trouble doing. Because my family's pretty darn understanding. I mean, wouldn't you say, Casey? Almost everybody in my family is pretty darn understanding. So it's easy to have a conversation with them. It's easy to let them know, what I need. And I'm sorry, I have one hair, since I moved my hair back, sorry, I have one hair that has found its way onto my face, and it's going to drive me crazy. Okay. But anyway, so my family is pretty darn understanding. And we're pretty open, and we tell each other, what we need. So this discussion for us is not hard, but this is a hard, okay, sorry, that hair is going to drive me crazy. Okay. But this discussion is hard because it's hard for a lot of people. See, and it's hard for Alyssa. She's not wanting to talk about it. So this week's topic was speak up for yourself. We all talk to our kids about this. We all tell our kids, hey, if somebody's picking on you, you need to speak up for yourself. If you need something, you need to speak up for yourself. If you need to go to the bathroom, you need to raise your hand and tell your teacher, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. If you're sick, you need to come let somebody know. If somebody's picking on you, you need to let somebody know. So we always want our children to do this. We always encourage our children to do this, and we would be very upset if our children needed anything and didn't tell somebody. If they didn't tell us if they needed anything, if they didn't let us know that something was going on. So why then is it so hard for us to talk to people about what we need as far as our weight loss journey and what we need with that? So the most successful people that I know have surrounded themselves with people who, even if they don't understand, because they may not understand what you're doing, but they're people that they're willing to learn, they're willing to understand. For the most part, I'm not going to say everybody. Our leader, Gwen, is convinced that 100% of the people on the planet would never, I guess, like intentionally or maliciously, well, I shouldn't say that she believes everybody does, but she's got a very kind heart and she sees the good in a lot of people. But she doesn't really think that many people are, what am I trying to say? That they would maliciously or intentionally trip you up. Yeah, I know people who would intentionally trip you up. or people that are jealous. You know, they're jealous of your weight loss success, and instead of being able to be happy for you, you know, that they might want to see you, you know, not do so well, or you know, whatever. So for the most part, though, people who are pushing food on you, food pushers, or who are bringing you food, or who are insisting that you've lost too much weight and that you look great and that you don't need to lose any more weight, and you know, blah, 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 that they're doing this with love. Oh, and Alyssa's got to go for a diaper change. Can you make it past that, okay? Okay, so she'll be back in a minute. She's got to go for a diaper change. And you notice and you may not have noticed this, but we had to remove Dusty from the room because Dusty loves her so much. He loves her so much that he just wants to be on her, and he would be crying the whole time. Okay, now I don't know what's going on with Teresa, but Teresa, I promise I will look back at this. You know, I'll look back at this later. I promise I will. So, okay, and so I'll read a little bit of this. Just because I know it's going to hit home. I know it's going to hit home for a lot of people. So this member, and I do love this in the weeklies because they have, instead of just talking to us, they here lately, I don't even know when they changed this, but I have enough weeklies that I could go back and find it. But they've been talking to actual members, like other actual Weight Watchers members who've had whatever the topic is, you know, they've had it, you know, had this happen or needed help with it or whatever, and found help. So this one is, her name is Erin, and she says, you know, another slice won't hurt. You don't need to lose weight, but you've always looked like this. It's who you are. Do any of those statements sound familiar? If so, you face sabotage at some point along the way, and it can undermine your weight loss journey. For Erin, a Weight Watchers member in Oregon, the sabotage came from her husband. He always told me he loved me at my weight and seemed baffled that I'd want to change anything about myself. He'd come home with fast food, chicken sandwiches. I felt helpless, sad, and angry. I wanted and needed him to stop. Does anybody think her husband didn't love her? No, of course her husband loved her. He loved her the way she was, and he didn't know why she wanted to be, you know, why she wanted to lose weight. It's an important step. It's important to keep in mind that most sabotage isn't intentional. Often the people who love you the most, a partner, family, close friends, say or do things that could derail your weight loss and maintenance efforts without even realizing it. So do you think he wanted her to be unhappy? Do you think he wanted her to not you know, to not be happy? I don't think so. He didn't even realize it. I'm sure he thought that he was encouraging her by saying, you know, you look great. You've always looked like this. No, you don't need to lose any more weight. I'm sure he thought that he was being supportive. They might even think they're helping. My husband grew up in a family that expressed love through food, Erin explains. So to him, bringing home boxes of cupcakes was his way of showing me how much he cared. But to Erin, it felt like he wanted her to fail. So Erin disarmed the sabotage. Every time her husband made a comment or did something that stymied her progress, she spoke up, and she got him involved in her Weight Watchers journey. Okay, that's key. She got him involved. One night, she made white chicken chili, a recipe she found on her Weight Watchers app, which inspired him to join too. We both loved it so much that night he said he wanted to participate with me. He decided he would eat the same things I ate going forward. The bottom line, because they make it sound real easy right here, the bottom line, assume friends and family aren't trying to do harm. Explain why you feel sabotaged, and let them know how they can better support you and your goals. After all, they won't be able to change their behaviors unless they know how their actions are making them feel. Okay, you notice it said most people. Okay, there are going to be a handful of people, hopefully in everybody's life there's only going to be one or two, hopefully not a whole handful of people that don't care, don't love you, you know, are mean. Some people are just mean, but hopefully you've only got one or two of those, and hopefully you can just stay away from them. You know, I had to figure out who those people were, and just not be around them anymore. So I wanted to just read you something that Gwen told us in our meeting, earlier Gwen told us in our meeting this Tuesday, and I don't remember who she said this. She said, you have to do this for yourself, but you don't have to do this by yourself. Okay, so did you hear what I said? You have to do this for yourself. So you have to do this for you. You can't do this because for your husband. You can't do this, necessarily for your kids. I mean, even though Alyssa is a big why for me and Casey, we still have to want it for ourselves. So I have to want to be healthy. I have to want to be able to run around. I have to want to be able to, you know, hopefully by the time Casey and I make it a few more weeks, you know, on Planet Fitness, I want to be able to pick Alyssa up and, you know, and bench press her without fear, you know, of my arms cramping up. So you have to do this for yourself. You know, nobody can feed you or not feed you or withhold food or, you know, whatever. You have to do this for yourself, but you don't have to do it by yourself. So what do you do? Okay, so they suggest, Weight Watchers suggest that to sidetrack the sabotage, they have, you know, they love their little letter things. I can't think what they're called, and you know, and Casey she could help me, but she's changing a diaper right now. So to sidestep the sabotage, Weight Watchers, hey Marlene. So Weight Watchers says DESC. Don't know what they want you to spell out of that, but the D is describe. So identify the sabotaging, an acronym. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, headless voice. Identify the sabotaging words or action with as much detail as possible. So in this example, and thank you, yeah, Donna says acronyms. Yeah, Donna and Casey, y'all are on the same wavelength. Yes, thank you, acronyms. So I don't know what this acronym is supposed to stand for, desk, but it's not with a K. Anyway, DESC. So identify the sabotaging words or action with as much detail as possible. When you ask me if I'm sure I want dessert when I order it at dinner. So that's when it happens. So she's being very specific. And then the E is effect. Tell the person how that action makes you feel. What effect does it have on you? And in this case, it makes me feel embarrassed and like you don't trust me to make my own decisions. Specify, so be specific, give clear directions on what they do or can stop doing to help you. Instead, if you didn't comment on what I order when we go out to eat, and then C is consequence. Tell them what alternate action would make, tell them how that alternate action would make you feel. In this case, it would make me feel confident and supported. So all that together, the describe, effect, specify, and consequences is when you ask me if I'm sure I want dessert when I ordered at dinner, it makes me feel embarrassed and that you don't trust me to make my own decisions. Instead, if you didn't comment on what I order when we go out to eat, it would make me feel confident and supported. Okay, that is a cumbersome conversation to me. I don't think you can have this whole conversation at one time. This is just me personally. So John and I had this exact same thing, but because we are pretty open in our family and, you know, pretty much just tell each other, you know, what we want, what we need, whatever. No, we're not. Yeah, Casey said we're not shy. We are not shy. So you all know my chip thing. So a bag of chips, an open bag of chips is an empty bag of chips. So if it's a little bag, if it's a 4-point bag of chips, a little bag of chips, and I open it and I eat all the chips, I can be satisfied because I got to the bottom of the bag. I have no idea what started this. I mean, like, I didn't live through the Depression. I don't know that I've ever had a need to hoard chips or whatever, but if I open a bag of chips that's this big, that's about 16 points, then when I open it, I will eat it until all the chips are gone. If I open a bag of chips that's this big, that's like 30-something points, 30 to 35 points, you know, it might take me a couple of hours, but I will eat the bag of chips until the whole thing is gone. If I eat a little one, I may or may not go back and open a second one. So if like there's a whole bunch of them, you know, I probably won't, because then I'd have to open a second one. But for some reason, an open bag of chips to me, doesn't matter how big it is, it needs to be empty. For some reason, it needs to be empty. And John knows how much I love my chips, and John loves me very much. So he got to where he was bringing me all these weird kinds of chips. Not weird as in weird, weird as in, oh, weird. And I'm not going to tell y'all what they are because I don't want anybody to go, oh my gosh, I've got to go find those. Okay, but he found some very unusual ones, and he's kept finding some very unusual ones out of town and bringing them to me. And sure enough, you know, I'd eat a handful while he was sitting there, and I'd go, oh my gosh. And his guys, a couple of his, and one in particular, one of his guys was, and hey Lynn, one of his guys was like searching out these very unusual kinds of potato chips and sending them for me. Okay, thank you very much. That's very sweet of you, and that's very sweet of you to think of me, you know, whatever, but I don't need an entire bag of chips. So what I finally had to do was say, oh my gosh, I love you so much. Well, he was bringing chips and dip. 2, you know, like double threat or whatever, because I would eat both of them until they were gone. So what I finally had to do was sit him down one day and say, you know, I love that you know me, that you know that I don't want flowers. It's not that I don't like flowers, but I'm just not a big, you know, bring me flowers girl. Don't wear much jewelry, you know, don't need to bring me jewelry, you know, things like a funky bag of unusual potato chips that you had to go to Duluth to get. That to me is love, you know, because you sought that out, you know, something that would be special for me. But what I finally had to say was, I love you and I know you love me, and I know that you are bringing these because you thought of me and you thought of, oh, that would be special. I said, but I need you to help me. I need your help. If I open this whole bag is going to be gone. I'm going to eat every single one of the chips in here. So I need you to do me a favor. When you bring me things like that, I need you to let me pour out enough that's a, you know, a serving or 2 servings. You know, if I want 2 servings of it, that's fine. But then I need you to take the rest of them away. I don't care what you do with them. I don't care if you go eat them. I don't care if you take them to work. We used to have an RV. I said, I don't care if you put them in the RV. I don't care if you know, take them out to the truck. Whatever. I just need you to take them away from me. And he went, really? You know, because I thought you would, you know, I thought you would love them. And I said, I do love them. I do love the chips, and I do love you, and thank you. But that's a problem for me. It's a problem for me because I'll eat the whole bag. And guess what? Now when he gets them, or like this last time, poor thing, he blessed Casey with them. So he brought me, I'm not going to tell you what kind they are, but they're my favorite strange potato chip, and they are so good. So instead of even bringing them home, he took them to Casey's house. And then when I went over there Tuesday night, he said, hey, you need to try some of Casey's chips that I brought her. And so I poured out probably 2 servings worth of them onto a plate. And then I put the bag back at Casey's house. And guess what? When it was time to leave, I drove away. I drove away without the chips. Casey didn't come running down the driveway. She knows chips are a problem for me. She didn't come running down the driveway waving the bag of chips and going, Mother, you forgot your chips, because I would have eaten them in the car on the way home. I'm sorry, what? Oh, she said she wasn't going to share them. Whatever. You know, and John knew that, hey, Christy, and John, my Christy, and John knew, he knew that those that I would love them and I would appreciate them and I would enjoy them, but that if they were here at the loft, that it would be a problem for me. So, sorry, Casey. So he took them to Casey's, left them with her, but let me know that they were there so that I could enjoy a serving. Actually, I enjoyed 2. But anyway, so this is why this part of this chat is hard. I talk to a lot of you all. I listen to a lot of you all. I hear what you're saying about family members. I hear what you're saying about, you know, kids and brothers and sisters and mother-in-laws and things, you know, that may or may not be, you know, as supportive as, you know, as some of us, you know, some people are. Some people you're not going to be able to have a discussion with. I'm sorry, some people you're just going to have to avoid, or you're going to have to figure out some way to distract them. We have a food pusher in our lives who I'm not going to mention. I don't think she's here, but there's a slight risk that she might be here, so I'm not even going to say where it's from. But we have a food pusher in our life that literally, that's the way she shows love. I mean, that is literally how she shows love, and she has zero concept. No concept of how to make something healthier. So, I mean, I've tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. So now I literally just distract her. I'll say, hey, why don't you make lunch for such and such one day? Or why don't you make us a this? Or why don't you make us a that? And go ahead and, or I'll offer to bring something. I'll bring this and you bring this, and I'll be very specific about what extra ingredient or what extra part I want to go with it, so that I have better control over what we're going to do all together. I know what the ingredients are and I know what's contained in them. She literally has no ill intent. I mean, would not hurt anybody for anything. But I've tried this discussion. I've tried doing this. I've tried going down the list of how it makes me feel, what it makes me feel like, how, you know, whatever. But she genuinely just wants to feed me. You know, just because she, you know, she cares about me. So I had to learn how to distract her. My mother-in-law, bless her heart, when she was still able to have holiday dinners, she would always buy I think it's an 8 or a 9-inch pie. I can't remember which size the plate is, or the, the aluminum foil thing is. So it wasn't even a really good pie because she bought it somewhere. So it's just a cheap pumpkin pie, or a pecan pie in a, in an aluminum pie plate. And when it was time to have, oh, and Lynn said her precious granddaughters wanted to share their Easter candy with her, but she didn't eat a single one. Lynn, bravo for loving those precious granddaughters and for not eating the candy. Yeah, because those sweet little faces, it's hard to tell them no. But my mother-in-law, when she would say, okay, it's time for dessert, and you may have done really well with the whole rest of the meal, but when it was time for dessert, she would take the pie, this pie, and she'd say, okay, here's your piece of pie. She would cut the pie into four. A 9-inch, 8 or 9-inch, doesn't matter what size it is, 8 or 9-inch pie plate. She would cut it down the middle, turn it, and cut it down the middle. You got a 1/4 of a pie is what she brought you. She didn't eat any of it. She might eat like a bite of it, but you got a 1/4. Yeah, you got a 1/4 of a pie, a 1/4 of a pie. And if you tried to share it with somebody else, or if you tried to cut it in half or whatever, it hurt her heart. I mean, it hurt her feelings because she wanted you to have that piece of pie. So I would sit and talk. Now for years, I ate the pie. For years, I'd just eat it. And I'd be, oh, well, I'm miserable anyway. I've already eaten, I'd have on my buffet pants at Thanksgiving, the pants that'll stretch, as you're eating so that you can just keep eating more and more and more and more and more. And I'd be like, oh, well, I'll just keep eating. But then when, the year that I finally lost my weight, I was so close to goal in 2014. I was so close to goal that I was like, okay, going into Thanksgiving, I was like, I am not eating the 1/4 of a pie. So just like every year, I talked a lot. I carried my plate around. She didn't even realize that I had gotten like half of even the first plate of food and never went back for a second plate. And we talked a lot and walked around a lot and carried a lot, and whatever. Well, when my 1/4 of a piece of pie got there, I took one bite of it while she was watching me, and then walked around. The next time she looked at me, I took one bite. Hey, Mary. I took one bite and talked. And then as soon as her back was turned, I went over to the garbage can, turned it upside down, pushed it down in the garbage, and covered it up with somebody else's stuff. She never knew. I took 2 bites of my 1/4 of a pie, plate. And some people, you just can't talk to them. There's no way that I was going to be able to talk her out of that. But we have 2 minutes. And the grandbaby's here, so I'm wrapping it up on time today. So here's the 2 minutes. Okay, for your homework this week, remember, what did I say? What did Gwen say? She said, you have to do this for yourself, but you don't have to do this by yourself. So what I want you to do for your homework this week is that I want you to practice this scenario. So whatever the scenario is, if it's the chip thing, if it's a 1/4 of a pie conversation you need to have with somebody, if it's you need time to go to your Weight Watchers meeting, if it's to talk to somebody about needing time to attend this, whatever it is. So whatever this discussion is that you need to have with somebody, whoever the somebody is, I want you to practice a scenario on a friend, or here in the group, here on this chat. If you practice it in the comments, I promise I'll see it and I'll respond. Or if you're in our closed group, I want you to practice with somebody there. Remind us that it's your practice, though, that it's your homework for this week, so we don't go, what on earth is going on? Or if you're watching this later on YouTube, if you want to practice it in the comments, you're more than welcome to. But so your homework for this week is, whatever your scenario is, I want you to practice that scenario on a friend. So find somebody who's not going to chew you up. Find somebody who can just sit there and be supportive, do a little role playing, say, okay, you're going to be, if your problem is Fred, let's say Fred is your problem and Fred's bringing you donuts every day, or Fred is the drug rep for the doctor's office where you work, or, whatever. Let's say that you need to have this discussion with Fred. Then find somebody who will be Fred or us, again, do it here in the comments, we'll see it, we'll give you some feedback, but practice on somebody. That is your homework, is to practice the scenario, practice having the talk. with somebody so that you can get it down. Let them give you some feedback, you know, how it made them feel, you know, make sure it doesn't sound threatening or accusatory, you know, or whatever, but practice it a little bit so that when it is time to talk to that loved one or that other friend or that coworker or the drug rep. Apparently the drug reps are awful. Thank goodness I don't work in a doctor's office, but so that when it's time to have that conversation, you can actually have that conversation. Okay, so I don't know if Alyssa is asleep again. Oh, she's awake. Okay, so instead of ending with Dusty, sorry Dusty, instead of ending with Dusty, we're going to end with
again.
Hello. We're going to end with Casey and Alyssa. Oh, am I getting her?
Yep.
Okay. Snuggles is here. Okay, so we're going to end with Alyssa. So Alyssa, tell everybody good night. Tell everybody to do their homework. Oh, she blew the binky. She spit the passy out. So Alyssa, tell everybody to be good this week and to get their homework done and to report back to Nona, okay? So everybody, oh, she's telling you. Tell them what they're supposed to be doing. Tell them about their homework. She's telling you. She's saying, okay, Egglets. Oh, okay. Yep. And she's clapping her hands. Did you see her clap her hands for you? Okay. She's telling y'all what to do. She says, get your homework done. And that she'll see you next week. And Dusty's back. He's crying. Okay. She says, do it. Do it. Okay, everybody have a great week. And I'll see you next week. Bye.